Welcome back to Learning with Merit. Today we're talking about Java data types, and we're dealing with primitives. Remember that primitives are predefined by Java. They always have a value. Whenever we give them a variable name, we're going to start with a lowercase letter. The size of a primitive type depends specifically on the data. And then the types that store numbers, one of them that we're going to talk about today is an integer. So we're dealing with primitives here. The first integer type that we deal with is called a byte. So a byte is, of course, 1 byte in size. That's 8 bits. It's going to store whole numbers from -128 to 127. That's 256 possible values, or the largest value that a byte can hold. We also have shorts. A short is 2 bytes long. It stores whole numbers from -32,768 to 32,767. And here we can see them defined right there. Our most commonly used data type, that is an integer type, is the int, and this will be, of course, an integer. It's 4 bytes in size. It stores whole numbers from this number to this number right here. Of course, it's a very big number. And then we have something interesting we want to look at here since integers are so common. What happens if I try to go past the lowest value or try to go past the highest value here? And I'm printing out what happens if we do that. So I'm going to run my code here. And down here in the console, we see that if we subtract 1 from the lowest value, we get the largest possible integer value. If we add 1 to the highest value, we get the lowest possible integer value, which is very interesting, and it has to do with how these values are stored. So we have to be very careful about how we work with this type of data and make sure that our data is inside the bounds of what we are working with. Otherwise, we may get this wraparound problem here. And last, an important one to remember in case you are working with very large numbers is a long. The size, of course, is 8 bytes. It stores numbers from that very large or very small number to that very large number right there. And it is important that when you have a long value that you use an L at the end to indicate a long. So these are our 4 integer types that we might work with in Java. Of course, integer being the most common one that is used, and we want to make sure that we pay attention to integer overflow errors when we are working with them. And thank you for watching Learning with Merit.